Welcome back. This is the fourth in a series of videos following my participation in the 2023 Round Britain Rally. In this video I have 10 landmarks for you, and they follow a line down approximately the middle of the country, as I took a trip from home down to Andover. You may also be pleased to hear that there is riding video to all of these landmarks. The downside of this is that whereas for generic videos I could choose pretty roads or spectacular curves, when I'm just using the ride to the landmark, you get what you're given, and if it's in the middle of town, you get town riding. Sorry. On to our first landmark, a suitably rural one in the heart of the Lincolnshire Fens. This is the Pinchbeck Engine Museum. Just to add a couple of details that the piece to the camera missed. The engine was a 20 horsepower A-frame low pressure condensing beam engine, built in 1833. It was replaced in 1952 by an electrically powered pump. When you get to the piece of the camera, be amazed at the amount of water it shifted. I was. Now then, how do? We're back again. We've gone roaming. This time we've made it down to Lincolnshire, and we've come to see the Pinchbeck Museum, or the Pinchbeck Engine Museum, which, if you excuse the bins, is in the middle of the Fens. And this was an old steam pumping engine that was used to drain the Fens, which, although having been a very rich area, they were also a very wet area. And so when it was in its pomp, this pump would drain the Fens at the rate of 7,500 gallons a minute. 7,500 gallons a minute. That's one chuffing big amount of water. So there we are. That's the Pinchbeck engine in the middle of Lincolnshire. Onward. See you soon. We're making our way to Elstow in Bedfordshire to see the Moot Hall. In the piece to camera I confused myself. It's all corrected in the end, but here's a more coherent description. The building was commissioned to be a market hall for Elstow Abbey. There was a meeting space on an upper floor which used to be a manorial court, and it was also used for the court of the pie powders, who resolved disputes amongst merchants. Initially there was daub and wattle panels between the timbers. In the late 16th century the building was extended by one bay and the daub and wattle was changed for bricks. In 1792 the estate was acquired by Samuel Whitbread, the brewer, and it remained in the Whitbread family until 1950. Major Simon Whitbread presented it to Bedfordshire County Council, and it was restored for the Festival of Britain. In 1951 it became a museum of items relating to John Bunyan. And we're back. This time we're in Elstow at the site of the Moot Hall, which is the home, or was the home, of John Bunyan. Beg your pardon, the town was. This is just a hall built for the abbesses and lords of Elstow. And there it is. So, lovely half timbered building. We shall go and have a quick walk all the way around. There we are. That's Moot Hall. It's now the home of the John Bunyan Museum, which if it were open I'd go and have a look at. As I'm doing this midweek, we're not allowed access. There we are, one last look at the hall, and then we shall go a bit further. See you soon. Okay, so we're off again, heading for Hertfordshire and a folly arch near Potter's Bar. When I do the video, I know very little about the arch. Since I've done a bit of research, I can't find that much more either. It was originally one of the entrances to the Gobian estate, which later became known as the Brookmans estate. It was erected as part of Charles Bridgman's garden design for Sir Jeremy Sambrook in about 1740. And there's lots of information about the estate, but very little more about the folly arch. One interesting little tale from the area is that the nursery rhyme Little Miss Muffet was based on a young lady called Patience Moffat, daughter of Dr. Thomas Moffat, an entomologist who lived locally from 1553 to 1604. Legend says that he'd invited a poet to join them for Christmas, and the poet heard Miss Moffat telling her father that she was eating her curds and whey when a spider descended from the ceiling and frightened her. This is cast into doubt because the earliest written version of the rhyme appeared in 1805, but it's a lovely tale. And we're back. Well, other than this being a folly arch and near Potter's Bar, I must admit I don't know much about this one. It's very pretty, and it appears to be part of somebody's house, and it's next to a busy road, which is why I'm using the microphone on the camera. The other one's a bit too sensitive. But there it is, it's very pretty. There may yet be a voiceover in the video, but we'll see. Right, onward. So we're off again, heading for the Pathfinder Cafe at Blackbush Airport in Surrey. Very little to say about this one, other than the obvious. The airport was started in 1942 as an RAF base and became a civil airport in 1947. As for the pain of missing a mug of tea, that was real. Welcome back. Another noisy place. And another slight failure, because this is the Pathfinder Cafe, which shuts at 4 o'clock. It's about 10 past now. Missed a drink. Really disappointed. Never mind. On to the next one, and then it's time to stop for the night. See you soon. The last landmark of this day. A Hawker Hunter aircraft aimed on the outskirts of Basingstoke. So we're now on our way to a technology park at Chinham, which is, as I've just said, on the outskirts of Basingstoke, and we're going to see there a Hawker Hunter aircraft which is owned and displayed by Centerprise International. The company is a technology company who seeks to work with clients to find tech solutions to the client's problems. The display was unveiled in September 2019 by the Centerprise's owner, Rafi Razak, who wanted the aircraft of a memory of his late father, Arif Abdul Razak, who flew this type of jet when he was with the RAF. The flag of Iraq is painted on the tail of the aircraft to signify his heritage. Apparently there were info boards there too, but I missed those. Sorry. Welcome back. Last one of the day. A restored Hawker Hunter aircraft on an industrial estate outside Basingstoke. Quite surprised to see the markings on the tail. They seem to be in Arabic. Now it's time for me to go and find a hotel and speak to you tomorrow. See you later. Welcome to a new day on the road in this virtual world. And I'm on my way to the village of Great Wishford in Wiltshire to see the breadstones. To repeat what I say to camera at the site, these are a series of stone blocks with the price of bread engraved on them. What confounded me at the time was that the price was per gal, or presumably per gallon. In fact, this was the case, and the quantity refers to a gallon loaf. This was a loaf made with a gallon of flour or grain and weighed approximately 8 pounds 11 ounces or 3.94 kilos. It was considered to be the basic ration for an adult, i.e. just over a pound of bread per day. The measure was used to determine labourers' wages and of the basis for parish poor relief. See, every day's a school day. Now then, how do? We're in the village, a very busy village, of Great Wishford. That's in Wiltshire. And we're here for the bread records, which are at the side of the church wall there. What do I mean by bread records? As you can see, they have recorded the price of bread at various points over 200 years. I'm not absolutely certain that per gal is per gallon, but it does give you a comparator as to how much bread has changed. How much the price of bread is. £372 per gallon in the year 2000 and £1.80. I think there must be a decimal point in that one. Yes there is. So £1.80 in 1984. So another really odd little thing to go and see on the Round Britain Rally. Good, isn't it? See you soon. For the last landmark of this day, we're on our way to Dorset, to the village of Edmondshire, and to another village pump and shelter. This particular one is a single throw crank pump and dates from 1884, and the shelter from 1931. Other than that, there's not a great deal to say about it. So, we'll take the pictures, get back to the hotel, and start again tomorrow. See you soon. Now then, welcome back. We're at another of the village pump and shelters. This is the village of Edmondshire in Dorset, and quite a splendid example of the breed. As I said before, these would have been one of the very important places in the village, because it would be where everybody would meet. You come and speak to your neighbours and find out what's going on, the local boss, and whilst you're there you fill your water carrier and carry it back to your cottage. One's tempted to say that Mains Water hasn't made that much progress. However, Mains Sewerage probably did. There's a topic for discussion. Anyway, I'll see you later. Welcome to a new virtual day. This day's first landmark is Mortimer Station in Berkshire. Amazingly, I seem to have got all the facts and got them all right in the piece to camera, so I'll just let you enjoy the ride in. Welcome back. So we're now at Mortimer Station near Stratfield Say, the home of the Duke of Wellington, and we're here to see the station buildings, which are those there. Those are designed by the famous engineer Isambard Kingdom Brunel. Station opened in 1848 and has been in use ever since, and the buildings have largely been left undisturbed. So that's another little interesting place to visit on the Round Britain Rally. Got more to do today, so we'll catch up with you later. Bye for now. We're on our way to Oxfordshire, to Nettlebed, which is the home of a bottle-shaped brick kiln. I must be getting better, or something, as the piece of the camera captures all the relevant information. So, just a couple of extra bits, or maybe some repetition. The kiln was built in the late 17th century, and would have been one of several in the area. The finished bricks were renowned for their strength. In his 1676 History of Oxfordshire, Dr. Robert Plott commented, "About Nettlebed, they make a sort of brick so very strong that whereas most places they are unloaded by hand, I have seen these shot out of carts after the manner of stone to mend highways, and yet none of these broke." Must have been quite a remarkable sort of brick. Now then, welcome back. I have to walk away from this one so you can see it. This is the Nettlebed brick kiln in Nettlebed in Oxfordshire. And because of the confluence of materials, this was a hotspot for brick making. You had the clay, you had the woods to provide the fuel. And back in the Middle Ages, you had a medieval workforce came across from the Flemish countries to provide the skill to make bricks. And the bricks were used in all sorts of ancient structures, and they included also making tiles and pots. And the kiln, as you will see in a second, is a really quite a big structure. Here we go, Nettlebed brick kiln. Excellent, onward. This is the last landmark on the trip, the Oxford Gatehouse at Stowe in Buckinghamshire. So here's a little bit more that I found out about it. The stone pillars were designed by William Kent for the Stowe estate in 1731, and they were moved here to the present position in 1761. The pavilions at either end were added in the 1780s to the design of Vincenzo Valdere. At the moment, that one of the pavilions is used as a dwelling and the other as a pedestrian entrance to the estate. Other than that, what you see is what you get. Now then, welcome back. So, I know relatively little about this, other than this is supposed to be the Oxford Gate, and it is the entrance to Stowe School. And if I can find anything else about it that's interesting, I will do a bit of a voiceover later. But there it is. It's quite pretty. It's on the edge of the National Trust estate at Stowe, with the gardens, and in the middle of the Buckinghamshire countryside. There we go. All very green and pleasant. Oh, and there's lots of posh cars going in and out. Wonder why that would be. Right, we'll see you later. As I launch myself over the top of Staxton Hill again and down towards Scarbados and home, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this trip and that you'll join me for the next one. As always, please hit the like button, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Doing that makes YouTube very happy. And me too. And with that, just remains for me to say bye for now, see you next time.